Podtacular, episode 269, Halo CEA review for January 2nd, 2012.
Hello, and welcome back to Podtacular, the unofficial Halo Universe podcast. I am your host, Duststorm, and with me today is GrimBrother One and Rukizzel. Hello, guys. Welcome back.
Hi, friend.
So, how was your Christmas/New Year's?
Wonderful.
I didn't get that
time.
Jessica that I wanted.
Aw, what'd you want that you didn't get?
Jessica Biel.
Oh, that's true.
Well, we can't get everything, okay?
I know.
Well,
my
I got
birthday's
I got the collector's edition.
Oh, goodness.
Had to sign a long-term contract, but
So, any
It's all
games?
good.
Any games that you guys got for the break? Or?
I got Rainbow Six Vegas.
All right.
I'm not kidding. That's the game I got.
That
I
is
decided
the
to
game. The only game that you got? You didn't get anything
That
else?
literally is the only game that I got. But you know what's funny is like games are a tough thing with me for holidays because all the games I really want I just
You buy.
get.
Yeah.
I think the
you
one
don't have
game
like a
that I
backup list
just
that you save
still haven't
for
had
other
a chance
people?
to get in. Say what?
Do you not have like a backup list that you can give to other people? It's like, here are games.
You know, I did have a couple, but at the same time, like we have a gigantic family, and so I always feel like such a douche being like, yeah, can you spend $60 on me?
Well, that's when you do
So-
like some of the games that have been out for like a month or two that you can get on Amazon for $40.
That's true. Well, actually, one of the ones that I had listed, my parents, I think, or something like that, tried to find for me and just weren't able to, and that was the Metal Gear Solid HD collection, which I've actually looked, at a couple of, Target and Walmart, which is, I think, where they were at, and
Right.
couldn't find it over there. If you go and get it at, like, a GameStop, obviously, they're going to have it, but
Yeah.
not really, not a big deal. I mean, they actually got me a GameStop gift card, so I can go and pick it up anyway.
That's
so.
good.
Not a-
And you can use
not
that
a-
for
not a
future
big deal at all.
purchases.
Oh yeah. But yeah, we had some good family times, and my wife, who is a really good knitter. She does the knitting of things. But she does like these really cool, like trendy, neat stuff. Like she made my brother last year like an ODST bag to hold controllers and games for when he goes over to friends' houses.
That's cool.
And then this year, because they're huge Skyrim fans and Lord of the Rings fans, she made them dwarven battle helmets with attached dwarven beards hanging from them. And freaking awesome. Like, they went nuts when they opened it because she made them open them simultaneously, and they, like, flipped out. It was super cool.
Wow.
That's amazing.
That is pretty cool. What about you,
Pretty
Ricari?
awesome.
Did you get anything?
I got
Or did you get
got a
your...
pair of Jordans and managed to not get stabbed. And
Is that a good
Very
thing?
happy with that. I'd have been pissed.
hey, if you heard how crazy the release was, that's amazing. And then I managed to grab pretty much every game that I wanted from the 12 days of Christmas Xbox sale.
Okay.
The only one I missed out on was Bastion, but I'll still end up buying it.
Yeah. I missed out
Got
on
an
that.
NFL Blitz.
It's like I saw this and it just didn't dawn on me. I wanted to get some of the Call of Duty stuff, and I just, when it came around, I was a day late, and I'm like, no.
Yeah, I wasn't around my computer when the Bastion stuff happened, and I was on my way up to the mountains, had no cell phone signal, so I couldn't even buy it from there. I was not happy.
Yeah, that sucks.
That's whatever. It's
That's
a
when
good
you need
enough
someone
game.
on the home front is like, go do this for me if this happens.
But it's all good. Still got a lot of great stuff. Jeff and I also managed to go through Voltron, which was amazing.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, dude, that was some of the most fun I've had in gaming in a while, actually. That was crazy. What, 2 evenings?
Well, trying to get that fifth
What's
person.
really cool? What's really cool is the soundtrack to Voltron, which sounds a lot like this. Oh, like a vacuum cleaner.
Uh-huh.
No.
Okay.
What happened was
What happened was,
I came down to visit, and the contractor managed to step in some dog crap outside of the house and tracked it all through the carpet that's been laid for no less than a month.
Uh-huh.
So we got to bring out the little mini carpet cleaner and set it down and run it twice over the 15 spots that were scattered across the floor.
Oh, no.
So the entire time that Jeff and I played, there was nothing but carpet cleaner going on in his ear. And the only microphone I have is my Kinect microphone. So yeah, there was no.
So it was picking up everything. You did not spare Jeff any grievance.
None at all.
It was okay. It was well worth it. That game is awesome. Every time you press pause, Peter Cullen's like, Voltron will return after these messages. It's so great.
All right. Well, for me, the only game I got was Assassin's Creed Revelation.
But that's a good one to get.
It is a good one to get. And I think, I want to say I'm probably about 60% through it. And I want to say I've played it for maybe about 14 hours. Maybe a little more. And I'm one of those people that when I play Assassin's Creed, I go and do all like the little things first, like buy up all the shops and do all the side quests. So like I have these main missions that are just sitting there, and I'm going around and getting enough money to buy all.
I do the same thing.
So the play.
Well, I have to do that in the beginning, or else I won't do it later.
Yeah, it's like
that's my problem. If I don't do it off the bat, I'll never do it.
I'm such a completionist where it's like I want to get all this stuff done.
Yeah, I finished Revelations not long before Christmas. I love that series. That's such a good series.
It's a good one. And I haven't played AC1 yet, so I'm actually thinking about going back in.
What?
No, I started with AC2.
Well, that kind of puts a damper on the effect of Revelations then.
Especially because you're only going to have all of 3 things to do in the first one.
Yeah.
All you're going to do is
over and over and over again. But
go to the Eagle spots.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just make sure you really enjoy eavesdropping.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Okay. What you mean for the first one, or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
You'll see.
I mean, I really liked it. It was really good, but it's much better if you're not already used to the other ones because it doesn't feel like a step back.
Okay. Well, I mean, when I was thinking about,
you should play it for the story.
Yeah.
At the very least.
I mean, when I was thinking about getting it in the first place, I had a few friends tell me that to just start with 2. Because 2 was a good story in of itself. And
you need to stop trusting the opinions of those friends and start asking us.
Okay.
There's a reason why Jeff and I...
Do they have podcasts?
No, they don't.
So, okay, then.
I didn't know you guys at the time, so did it really matter? No.
Oh, all right. That is an understandable excuse.
So,
hey,
now
so
that
actually,
I'm
speaking
friends
of
with
the
more educated people.
There you go. Speaking of the random arcade games, Ricari, have you started Insanely Twisted Shadow Planet yet?
No, I have not.
What?
That is a sick game. Like, that is super awesome and like gorgeous. And holy crap, there's a Mass Effect Monopoly set. That's awesome. But it's like a one-off, apparently. Man, somebody did it custom.
I want to own the Citadel.
I know. I do too. Oh, I just landed on Vermeer, and there's a hotel on it. Damn it.
Yeah, my backlog of arcade games is ridiculous. Like, I still have to finish... what's the game? I haven't even started playing Lara Croft and the Guardian of Light. King Quagmire from Game Focus.
We need to try out Renegade Ops, because I hear that's a really good co-op game.
We do need to play that. That's why I chose it.
Yeah.
Goes like Jeff.
Well, that and like that I love that awesome fire sale they had on.
I just know for me, I still have Fallout 3 to finish.
Do you guys have Gears 3?
Actually, I do. I actually broke down and got Gears 3.
Do you happen to have the season pass?
And I have that too.
Season pass for
Gears.
For Gears.
We mean
for the DLC.
Pass. Oh.
Okay.
I do not have I do not have the DLC.
Okay. Yeah. Well.
I have whatever came with the retail copy.
Still a good game. But Ricari, we need to get together for some DLC achievements then, because there's some that you have to have like everybody playing as certain characters and stuff like that. We'll definitely have to jump on that.
We'll do that. But did I tell you about my disc? What I did?
No.
And how? Let's see. Gears came out on what, like September 29th or something like that, or whenever it was. The very next day, I managed to.
Has it been out that long?
Yeah, it's been out since September.
Wow. Okay. I just bought it 3 weeks ago, so.
hey, no time. It doesn't matter. It's still in 2011. But like the next day, I had taken my Xbox somewhere and I had it standing vertically. And I was looking for something, and something happened, and it tipped, and I just molested the hell out of my Gears disc.
Oh, no. That's why you install.
Yeah, I know. So what I have to do is go cheat and go to GameStop and get a disc from them, install it, and return it.
That's right.
It's okay.
You don't have a friend that you can just borrow it from?
See, that's the tough part with Xbox Live is now all my friends are across the country that I game with.
Yeah. You have a very big couch. Man, isn't this an awesome Halo podcast?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we are going to have a kind of Game of the Year / Shoot of the Year podcast, hopefully within the next couple of weeks.
We're going to have a Halo.
I honestly feel that the whole Game of the Year thing, you need to wait till the year has come to an end before you can make a conclusion on what
I agree. The game I do agree with this.
So, in my opinion...
Well, here's the weird thing, though. I almost think that anything that comes out in the holiday should be in the Game of the Year consideration for the next year.
Well, yeah, with how Games of the Years are done, yeah.
Its entire existence should come into play. The DLC that was released, was the online component, if it had an online component, did it ship well? Was it broken? Did it take a bunch of updates?
Well, you have to also look at it as if the game did come out like December 30th or something. It's still technically part of that year. I would think you actually wait a couple weeks to see how the game would fare before you even considered a Game of the Year evaluation or a show. I mean, because with the VGAs, you're basically missing a month. You're missing the whole month of December.
Yeah.
Effectively. And, I mean, since it's Game of the Year, no one's really going to go back and consider, well, what were the games in last December that we kind of screwed over because of the timing that we did our show?
Yeah.
Those don't really get considered. So, and, I mean, right now, January and February usually aren't big months for games, right?
January? Not really.
Yeah, so, I mean, why can't they wait until the year is officially over to do the awards if you want to do a game of the proper year?
Because Game of the Year status sells games during the holidays.
I guess that's true. Which is stupid, but...
Which is why they do their Game of the Year stuff, especially the stuff that's widely, the televised stuff. That's why they do it right there at the beginning of December, is that's your prime buying time. And so that's where, you get the hype, and that's where you can push people over the edge
I guess
to pick up a title where they might not have otherwise thought. I mean, to be quite honest, I've also considered, as I read various reviews and things, I've kind of discovered games during that time period just because people are talking about them a lot more, that I hadn't. I mean, that's the way it was with Batman Arkham Asylum, the one that came out, the first one came out.
Right.
My brother ended up getting it for me for Christmas, I want to say last year. Just because we had kept hearing, we've been jaded for years and years by really crappy licensed, comic games and movie games and things like that. So, but we kept hearing really, really good stuff about it, and he grabbed it on sale and got it for me for Christmas, and I ended up loving the game. I mean, it was so good. So I do understand. I think that approach does work, having it before the holidays to kind of remind you of games too that had shipped throughout the year.
Yeah, and I guess that does make sense.
But like you said,
I guess I'm just
does
more
end up
honest
kind
person.
of. Yeah, it does end up kind of putting some games in like a weird limbo. And it's funny, if I'm not mistaken, Mass Effect 2 came out in like January or February of the year that it came out.
January 2009.
So it was kind of bizarre. You get to the Game of the Year and it's incredibly deserving, but then you're like, oh, that did come out this year. You start thinking like, no, it came out last year, because it's almost like a weird fiscal year, the way we think of shipping, of games shipping. So, I mean, everything, especially being, Halo fans, we're used to,
Yeah. So, I guess that's true. But we'll have our own show, and we'll probably break it down to best shooter and then best game of the year for kind of what we think.
Cool.
So we'll have that show hopefully within the next week or two.
What you should do is beforehand you should get like a top 5 for whatever categories from as many people who have helped co-host Podtacular in the past year as you can.
Idea.
They don't all have to be on the show because obviously that would be crazy. But like it'd be cool if you had like 10 to 15 guests who also provided a list that you could read off during the episode and then put up on the website as well. It'd be kind of cool.
That'd be
tally the vote, see who ends up a winner.
I do like that idea.
Yeah,
I do like that idea.
That's how ESPN does their rankings.
We should do one for the Modcast and we'll like have all the man, we're giving away all of our secrets right here.
We have a few secrets too.
Yeah, right.
We've been in the business longer.
Yeah.
But let's talk about Halo since this is obviously.
I meant we as a collective, we all of us.
Oh well, okay, yes.
Yeah.
We do have our secrets as podcasters. And especially with the positions that we have been graced with, we have our own ins and outs of places. So.
Very true. Gratefully so.
But let's talk about Halo. Since our last recording, which was the middle of November before CEA came out, that was the last decade show. Was our last show.
Gosh,
it was the Saturday. Right. It was the Saturday before.
And Jeff and I were both there.
I know.
Yeah.
So you guys are returning an episode.
And we were on the CEA Gone Gold too.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, I mean, right now you guys are basically temporary co-hosts. to be perfectly honest. I mean, I know you have the Modcast, and we're not exactly looking for another permanent co-host right now, but we will be once I move up to Baltimore and get settled in with a job. But yeah, so we will be looking for someone that's kind of Halo knowledgeable and willing to spend time to do podcasts.
Man, if only I knew somebody like that.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to volunteer and do the Modcast and Podtacular at the same time, we need
to ask Goose.
Like, yeah, right.
I don't want to necessarily ask.
That would little your mind.
I mean, I don't necessarily want to ask anyone that already does a podcast because I mean, doing a crossover like that can sometimes be helpful, but then again, can detract from conversation and
I have plenty to say.
Well, I mean, being unique between shows. I mean, I know with you guys in the Modcast.
Yes, that's very true.
I mean, I know that we would have some very similar things going on between the Modcast and Podtacular with how closely we are both related to Halo and Halo in general. Where with like Griffball Hub, they're specifically about Griffball and they focus on their community.
Exactly, yeah.
So, but I digress. To Halo again.
Yes.
So CEA came out and all of us have hopefully played it by this point. If you are listening to this and you haven't played it, you should be ashamed of yourself. Go spend the $30 and buy it. It's fun. It's worth it. And I think it was a good remake. The graphics were definitely the wow effect that I think really sold the game well. What do you guys think about kind of the changes that 343 made to the original Halo in that regard? Good changes? Yeah, what you were expecting, what you weren't expecting?
Ricard, you go first.
I get to go.
Putting you on the chopping block.
He's going to piggyback off my answers.
I am going to piggyback.
Well, then choose your answers carefully so he can't piggyback off of them.
No, you know what? It was an amazing time having to look back just because it does a great job of taking you back. And, if you're one of the people that was, I hate to say it like this, but old enough to play Halo when it first came out and experience it, it was something that was very unique, and CEA does a great job of maintaining that same feel and giving you a lot of new stuff at the very same time. The biggest thing for me was the sound. I'm not a huge music person. Like I wasn't pissed off about certain tracks that they had on there that I know a lot of other people were passionate about, but hearing the shotgun go off, hearing the sniper rifle and the rocket launchers, like there were certain things in there that were just absolutely amazing. And it was a beautiful game. Like I had no issues with it at all. But it was fun. I actually had to crack it open the other day and just try and go through a couple of levels just because I missed it. Like it's something that I could replay over and over again and CEA to me feels the exact same as CE.
Yeah, it does have that unique replayability, and especially if you do it with like other people who have, even if they haven't played the game before or have played the game before, it's still a fun game to go back and replay.
Oh yeah, and I got to introduce one of my buddies to Halo through that game. What was it? Black Friday. All the Microsoft stores had a lot of the first-party Microsoft Game Studio software on sale for $15. So that included CEA. I think I managed to nab like 5 copies of it.
Dang.
I was like, so I had one, for my second and third Xboxes, and I was like, I'm going to let people play these. I might have traded one into GameStop too, but about that. But yeah, so one of my friends...
I mean, when you have so many copies, it's kind of an okay excuse.
Yeah, and he goes,
as long as you have enough for LAN parties.
This is...
Right?
Yeah, on my own. That's the great...
Yeah, exactly.
But he goes, this is the new Halo? Oh, this is great, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, no, this game came out 10 years ago. And I was like, this really isn't new Halo. Like, this is an old Halo redone.
Yeah, so how many times did you guys hit the back button?
Plenty.
You were playing...
Every chance I got for the part.
I mean, it's like there's
bunch, especially the first time through. Now, like, more recently, it's I just keep it more and more on the newer graphics setting.
Okay.
I mean, for me, like with the graphics, like overall, I thought were really good, and I liked how it kind of meshed it visually with the newer titles. Environment art, I would give like an A+, absolutely. Character modeling, meh, had its moments. Like there were some characters, I wasn't a particularly big fan of how they modeled Cortana and then some of the faces and things like that.
Well, Cortana 3 was an exact copy of Halo 3's Cortana.
Yeah. Well, yes, but for some reason, even with the animations, like it didn't, because they redid the animations for cinematics.
Yeah. Those were...
I wasn't as big a fan of. I'm not gonna necessarily hit my now famous Banshee rant. I
haven't heard this. I don't think.
Yes,
you have to have heard it. Yeah.
Is it on the modcast?
Oh yeah, it's on Nodcast. I've done it on the Decade Show. I've done But I mean, long and short is I would have liked to maybe a updated version of the older Banshee. but at the same time, like I know that there are different variations of the Banshee. So in my mind, there are both variations. They coexist in the canon. And one day it would be really cool to see something like, even if it's a comic or like an animated feature that showed both versions. I can understand why you usually don't put both versions in the game, because it's just kind of extra memory that you don't really need to be using. It's easier to just use the same models, but it'd be cool to see in like a comic or something like that, to see both versions kind of flying side by side or something. It'd be pretty cool. But that's, not really a huge deal. Overall, I thought the graphics were really neat. I really liked some of the like seeing the new elites, and seeing like some of the ultra color, like the white, because actually that was one of my biggest issues with the elites in Reach, is that I really liked the character models and the new armor, but I didn't really like that they kind of went away from the old standard colors with the red majors and blue minors and things like that. And they had blue minors in Reach, but the rest, they made zealots kind of purple instead of gold. And
there's purple, gold, white.
I really like how they went back a little more to the old color scheming of the elites. But
pretty much
you saw a lot of the newer armor. You saw a lot of the newer armor that you saw in Reach. So it's cool little combination. The hunters looked awesome. For some reason, I really, really liked the hunter models for Anniversary. Like, I thought they did a really good job. Like, it really reminded me of a cross between, like kind of alien worm warrior and some sort of like big knight. Like they reminded me of Nightmare from Soul Calibur. Like, so yes.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's good. Music I thought was really good. They did a good job. I
thought the music was okay. I didn't think it was spectacular, but
my biggest beef, and I've said this before, my biggest beef graphically was I was not a big fan of the I wasn't a big fan of the ring itself. like the under or the outer side, I guess, of the ring.
The fins.
I really liked the
made everybody
smooth.
mad.
Actually, I didn't. I actually thought that was a nice touch, to be honest.
Really? Yeah, I just didn't like those weird fins sticking off of it. That was my big thing. I like the smooth monolithic look that all of the other Halo games have had. So
yeah,
to me, fins are not, but it's all good. Maybe to me, I describe it is it's like a heat sink that can retract. So at that moment, the back button, they're retracted or not.
That's interesting.
Dude, that back button was my best friend, though. I was sitting in we were doing the launch at the Microsoft store in Seattle, and there were a couple of not Microsoft employees, but Microsoft store employees sitting there, and they're looking at the game, and they had it up, like they have this cool little screen that goes all the way around the store, and they're like, wow, I really wish I could see what the game looked like 10 years ago to now. I look at Dan Ayub, who's signing autographs. I was like, hey, Dan, watch this. I'm going to use your line. And I was like, hey, so all you got to do is hit this back button and watch the magic happen. That was the highlight of the night for me, because these dudes...
Did their eyes just light up or something?
At the touch of a button, you really do see 10 years of gaming evolution.
Well, yeah, the guy freaks out, and he grabs his buddy. He's like, man, you got to check this out. You can look at it. He's like, you can look at it how it was before. And I think they probably spent the next 20 minutes doing it.
Looking back at it, the graphics back then are still actually kind of decent.
Oh yeah.
I mean, switching back and forth. I mean, yeah, they kind of look crummy compared to the new ones, but you some of the places you switch back, it's like, wow, that still looks really good.
Oh yeah. Well, a lot of it is textures. I mean, you can just tell that, hey, back then they didn't have the infrastructure to work with as much. They did a really, really good job with.
I mean, there are some areas where like the new stuff kind of took away some of the old nostalgia effect, like the 343 Guilty Spark level, where it's like it's supposed to be foggy and dark. It's a lot more lit up now because of the graphics engine is better. And it's like if they could only made a way to recreate kind of like the dense, foggy, dark, mysterious atmosphere.
I think they did a good job trying to get back to it, though. Like it felt like a swamp. Like it wasn't.
Yeah, it felt like a swamp, but I mean,
I still couldn't see as far as I would have hoped to see.
Oh, I could see miles. Or I mean, it seemed that way. I mean, it seemed like
you eat a lot of carrots.
It seemed like the fogginess was gone, and I mean, it's not a bad thing, but I mean, there's little elements that. They probably really couldn't help it with the new graphics that you just kind of miss. But I mean, overall, I think the graphics update was a huge improvement, and it really worked.
It was just neat, really, to go and play the old story again and kind of play through. And the terminals alone were worth the price of admission.
those are cool.
Like, I mean, that's story-wise, that's almost an episode in and of itself. But like
we might have
that was really
specifically on
really good. Well, and it's going to be with Primordium coming out tomorrow officially. The terminals really
Someone has an early copy apparently.
What'd you say?
Nothing.
Oh,
nothing.
Yeah. Oh, you already have your copy?
No.
Oh.
I was thinking, since you said it officially comes out tomorrow, that you might already have yours.
Oh, no, no, because
okay.
People did get it early. Like some stores actually sold it early.
Oops.
Yeah, I know, right? But
it's
already
the Call of Duty release all over again, except not as extreme.
So, but yeah, so it's coming out tomorrow, and there's gonna be a lot of tie-in with that and the terminals. So, but you know what's really funny? Now that because it's been a while since I played Anniversary. Like it's been a few weeks, if not a month, mainly because I'm waiting to get right next to 100,000 gamer score, and then I'm gonna get the rest of achievements on Anniversary, so that's the game that puts me over.
Oh, see.
But
I already 100%ed it.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm just holding off specifically for that. But playing that game really made me excited for Halo 4. It really, I think that it reminded me, like, man, the story's come a long way, the game has come a long way, this is great, but it also just kind of reminded me that, like, man, we've got a ways to go now. We've got even more to see and adventures to go on, etc.
There's still a lot that 343 has to prove with Halo 4 because they're going to be relying on their own story for the campaign. They're going to be relying on their own multiplayer engine. There's still a lot of things 343 has to prove, and I was talking about this with Keith from the Running Riot last week, and that we still really don't know what 343 is capable of. And
nor will we until Halo comes
I'm
out.
really looking forward to whatever. Like, I'm hoping that they just surprise us one day with a Vidoc with with gameplay, or at least a Halo 4 trailer. That
we'll probably see something at PAX East.
What we saw, a little closer to what we saw in what is it? E3. Sorry, for Halo 3. Where it was all in engine, and it really was a much, much better indicator as far as what we were going to see.
Mm-hmm.
The Halo 4 trailer it was a teaser. It was a sizzle trailer, basically, which did its job. It's great, but
yeah.
Well,
so why is 343 going to be at CES?
So what?
Know?
Say it again.
Is 343?
343 is going to be at CES. Why?
They are going to be there?
Yes.
Oh,
from
actually,
what I've read.
Frank O'Connor, Frankie's doing a talk about transmedia stuff. And ironically enough, somebody from Starlight Runner is also there, who was responsible for putting together the canonical Halo Bible for Microsoft during the transition from Bungie.
Gotcha.
And they're actually.
So what are they doing at CES?
They're going to be giving a talk on basically ways that games and movies and other media get along together, so that if you have a franchise that covers a game or a movie or comics or novels and things like that, how you can get them to to kind of line up. And I know that some people are automatically seeing and reading into like, oh, that means there's going to be a movie, which of course there could be, but frankly, I'd be just as happy, if not more so, with a series, like a Band of Brothers kind of, mature, long-running series that you could really explore the story and not have to cut it down for 2.5 hours. And
it's a weird thing with Halo because with Halo, it's the game experience that they're really driving for, and with a movie, you'd almost have to take it. You'd have to be very careful with what realm you enter into in the Halo universe with a movie, because with the books you're getting like more of the backstory. And
the problem with the movie is you would have to tell in order to do it really well, you would probably want to tell like a smaller story, a more human story, maybe ODSTs and stuff, and you could feature Spartans in there.
Yeah.
But the problem is,
I think in order for it to be
Master Chief. And you can't really tell the whole Master Chief. You can't tell the Master Chief story in a 2.5-hour movie.
But I think in order to be successful with the general population, is there's going to have to be some reference to Master Chief in there and some kind of connection to the games. But there's plenty of other stories that you could probably easily do in a movie, like some other battle that took on. Like we know that there's the conflict between the UNSC and the Rebels, so you could possibly do a movie somewhere around there. Maybe during the events of Halo, there's like some insurgency or something that's going on with the Rebels, and you could do a movie something around that, possibly.
You could do a movie at any point during the timeline. It would just be a real small movie. Think of District 9. We jump right into that movie with the little squids or aliens or whatever they're called being there for years on end already.
Oh yeah.
Like it'll
and that's what I think that you would really have.
What it's about.
That's what I feel like you'd have to do. But the problem is that the general public identifies most with the Master Chief. So it's this weird mix. It's like, if you're going to do something with the Chief, you almost need to do a trilogy of movies. But but I don't want it to. It's too easy to mess up.
Yeah, that's true.
I would rather see 343 devoting their resources to making really a really awesome trilogy of games over the next 6 years or whatever it is, 6 to 7 years, and little story bits throughout, rather than trying to make a,
I would say almost a web series would be better, or something like a TV season of.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like a Band of Brothers kind of style, like a series, like a Battlestar Galactica, like a something that you can run for seasons if you want to. You can make the story stretch out. You can make it about a group of ODSTs that where you have the Spartans and stuff involved as well. There's all sorts of stuff that you could do, and it opens it up. It opens it up for you to be a little more creative with the budget and a little more creative with your casting as well. You're not, because if you do a movie, you're almost kind of forced into, well, we got to get some big names. Don't get big names. Get same names. I want the same people, if at all possible, to be playing the characters.
No, they
we
could
should
do the
never cast space, so we should have Steve Downes voicing him. And with Cortana should be voiced by Jen Taylor.
Yep.
And so
but you could do the Darth Vader trick and just have somebody else acting, and then just replace the voice.
Yeah, well, no, that's what I'm saying. Because obviously, you wouldn't have Steve Downes playing a 7-foot Spartan.
No,
but it should definitely be able to have him voicing the character.
You would have me, since I'm 6'5".
There you go. And you've lost 40 pounds. So
yep. I can fit into that suit a little bit better. But yeah, I guess the idea of the movie is it would be cool in order to possibly get other people involved that aren't necessarily directly involved with Halo now, but to the core audience of Halo, it's just not really going to do much, I guess, at this point.
But I bet you everyone would go see it, at least the first one, no matter what.
Yeah, everyone would go see it. A couple of things I have issues with CEA, since they were kind of mentioned earlier, is the sound of the pistol and the assault rifle did not ring with me. It sounded like plastic, to be honest.
I like the pistol.
The pistol and the assault rifle sounded like you were shooting plastic guns. The sniper rifle, the rocket launcher, and the shotgun were
I'm pretty
amazing.
sure that they're made of all composite and plastic.
But the sniper it sounded like a beast. The shotgun.
Oh yes.
The shotgun was pretty good. The rocket launcher, well, it's kind of hard to mess that up. But
the Covenant weapons were awesome. I loved the new plasma rifle and the plasma pistol sounded great.
I never really used Covenant weapons that much, other than the pea shooter. so I'm not exactly sure about that. But yeah, for some reason when it came to the assault, sorry?
I was just saying, I loved the way the pistol sounded and felt like it felt heavy enough to be a high caliber round that couldn't be spat off real quick. And it felt like it had some weight to it, or it sounded like it had some weight to it.
There was something about how the AR in the pistol sounded that made it sound like you were actually shooting a gun that was made out of plastic. I don't know why, but it's one little beef I have with the game. But other than that, another thing I don't get is, why did they put Reach on the same frickin' disc?
What do you mean?
I say it again.
I still don't understand why they. I kind of get it, but thinking back at it, it's like, why did you put the Reach multiplayer on the same disc, and you could have had all this other space to do a little bit more with the game?
They did what they wanted to do with the game. What more would you have wanted to see from the game?
One thing was the extra skull that they were supposed to put in. They don't have the original sounds for the weapons. All you have is the new weapon sounds. You don't have any old weapon sounds when you do switch back audio. The only thing you're switching back is the soundtrack. So all those were gone. And I don't know, just having the Reach on there just, to me, seemed like a waste.
Well, here's the thing, though. You have to also think of the people who are buying the game who don't have internet access, who don't have access to live, or who just want to be able to take the experience with them no matter what. You've got to be able to provide that entire experience. You can't leave the multiplayer component that they, the way that they chose to do it. You can't leave that to just a download code. Really, the only other thing
why
that
can't
they
you do
could
a
have done is
second
to do 2 discs, like they did with with ODST.
ODST, yeah.
You know, they wanted it. Yeah, I don't know. They wanted it to have it that. And frankly, I mean,
2 discs cost.
Yeah, two discs cost. And frankly, it would have been a waste of space to just put those 7 maps, you know, the 6+1 on another disc all by themselves. And you know, they didn't want to do the ODST route where they had all of the maps there. And I'm trying to remember, they had a reason, if I'm not mistaken. I don't want to quote them on that or incorrectly infer, but I think they had another reason for why they did not do like they did with ODST and have the full multiplayer suite on that disc. But you know, I would much rather have those maps and have that multiplayer experience on there and get kind of the half and half than to have maybe that extra skull or original weapon sounds. I mean, if I'm that hardcore, I would just put in my old Halo disc, which I still have.
I guess that's true.
So, because if really you want a pure experience without all of the newer stuff impeding on your disc, you'll just throw the old disc in. I mean, that's it. It sits right next to it on my shelf. So, you know, I think it really was a best of both worlds. And no matter what they were going to do, there were going to be, you know, people who didn't really care for the approach that they took. But I think overall, I'd be hard pressed to argue that they probably didn't find the best compromise. And you know, again, that's just my opinion. The listeners out there could be like, "Ah, you're full of crap." But that's my opinion, and I have a microphone.
I mean, it's probably more or less just a personal peeve because of I guess just my collection. But yeah, I mean, I guess that makes sense that they would do it like that instead of the way ODST did it.
Yeah, I mean, and you got to remember, I mean, ODST wasn't, you know, from the get-go was kind of back and forth as far as what it was positioned to be. And that was, you know, that was, you know, Bungie being involved and Microsoft being involved. And, you know, all this stuff is like, okay, it's an expansion. We're just kidding. It's not an expansion. Okay, it's got some maps. No, it's got all the maps. No, it's got all the maps that are exclusive, but you can only get them here, and we're going to put them all on this disc. And it's got the, you know, so it was kind of a back and forth thing. ODST really was a weird, just kind of like a weird animal, all in and of itself. So, and you know, there's another example of that campaign grew and grew. So, you know, where you had that full engine and all the firefight and all of that stuff, you know, on that one disc, and you know, they weren't able to include. And I also think that the price point played into it, because you got to think ODST had that extra disc, but ODST was $59.99 at launch, not $39.99.
Right.
You know, I think if they would have launched Anniversary at the $60 price point, then they would have had to do something different in regards to you know, the way that they handled the multiplayer. And if I'm not mistaken, how long was ODST, or how long was Halo 3 out by the time ODST had come out? I mean, I feel like Halo 3's multiplayer and their download schedule had kind of run its course by the time Halo 3 had come out. But I mean, Reach feels fresher to me than the distance between. I'd have to look up the dates.
Halo 3 came out in September 07.
07, right?
Yeah,
and didn't
ODST came out in 09?
09? Yeah.
Yep.
So 2 years, whereas Reach to Anniversary was only 1 year. So you also, I mean, you had a full year. You literally had double the time that Halo 3's multiplayer experience was out in the wild. And so it made a lot more sense to package that multiplayer experience just kind of like all by itself. You know, because most of the people who were going to want it one way had already had it that way. You know, ODST offered the opportunity to not only give players a new campaign, but maybe give people who hadn't picked up Halo 3 the ability to have a nice, full, robust campaign and get the full multiplayer experience all at one time. Anniversary was never positioned to do that. It was positioned to be an homage to the original game and set up for a very specific purpose, and to really just kind of complement and slot into the Reach infrastructure and the Reach ecosystem and experience, rather than, be kind of like a full supplanting. I mean, if they were going to do that, they would have just given Anniversary its own multiplayer period.
Yeah. Okay. I can see where that makes sense.
That was my soapbox.
Stepping down now?
Stepping down now. Watch your step.
But yeah, the terminals were a good addition.
And Connect. Connect was a surprising addition. Man, Ricari and I have had some freaking fun with that. Oh, dude, just being able to say analyze and scan is amazing.
Really?
Because you know what that does, right? Have you seen that?
Somebody on Skype, then you connect you doing it.
I know what it's supposed to do, but I mean...
Yeah, man, when you say analyze, it like goes into like this Oni scanner thing, and you can scan different items in the universe, and when you scan it, it records it into like a library bank, where when you're in the main menu, you can access this library and, rotate the models around, the 3D models around, and it gives you some information on it. I mean, everything from the different types of elites to vehicles like the Pelican and the Banshee, and just really cool weapons. Oh,
I've watched.
Do you still need the longsword? I need to get that too.
Yes, I still need the longsword.
I've watched a friend's playthrough of it, and that's obviously not without its bugs. The analyze feature.
I didn't find any bugs with all that
Connect?
stuff.
Yeah. Well, I didn't really notice, unless you mean, saying lightning
like
bolt above.
One of the friends I was watching, he said analyze, like on the plasma pistol and the grunt, like 3 or 4 different times, and moving around, and it didn't get anything.
Wait, you mean scan?
No, analyze.
Did he say scan?
Analyze is when the mode, and scan scans it.
Oh, so there's 2 separate commands?
Yes.
Yeah. You say analyze, that opens the analyzing feature, and then when you look at something that's bright orange, that means you haven't scanned it yet, and you can scan it. So when you look at it and you say scan, then it just goes boop, and it scans it right in. And then if you look at it again, like let's say that I've scanned the plasma pistol already, when I say analyze again, when I bring the scanner back up, essentially, that won't appear. No plasma pistols will appear bright orange anymore.
Okay.
It'll be like a lightest blue.
Yeah.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, that's not a bug. That's ineptitude.
Okay. Well, I mean, even if you watch the videos where they do the analyze thing, all they say is analyze. They don't say scan.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I mean, it's a little.
And here's a little pro tip too. If you go into the Connect options in the menu, it actually gives you a full list of words that you can say and the commands and everything.
All right.
So, I mean, there's a ton of stuff. You can say classic mode or remastered or bright, like brighter or darker, and it adjusts your screen brightness. Okay. And you can say lightning bolt, and when you throw a grenade, it explodes in a thunderclap, which is pretty awesome.
Really?
Yep. Yes.
Yep. That's not in the little list. Lightning bolt is not. And I hear there's some other ones, too, that are not in that list.
Some secret words? Okay.
Say it again.
Some secret words?
Yeah.
All right. Interesting.
So, again,
I will say the 3D.
You trust a lot of people with no information.
Okay. I mean, I don't have a Kinect, so I can't test it. I'm sorry.
No, I know. I'm just kidding. I would buy you one if I had the means.
Well, I would gladly take it. I will say though, the 3D on Anniversary is amazing. My parents bought a 3D TV.
See, now that I don't have. So that's pretty cool. I mean, I played it in Seattle, but the Needler looked so awesome in 3D when we played it there.
Yeah. Well, everything looks just amazing in 3D. Even the main menu is like, wow. You can actually see the Halo in 3D. So
that stupid fin.
Your finned Halo has offended you.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Lightning bolt.
Lightning bolt. But it works surprisingly well for a 3D title.
Yeah, which is funny because if I'm not mistaken, didn't they say they just kind of added 3D in there?
Yeah. Same with the Kinect features.
It was a late addition, so.
Yeah, like the Kinect features didn't even ship on the CEA disc either. Like that's why you had that automatic patch
right.
the second you started your game.
Yeah, that's why they had the day one. That's right. Can you imagine getting it and not being connected to live, and you're like, wait.
I can't analyze a thing.
It's like, aw, dang it. Yeah, that was one of the. It was 2 days after the release, right? Or it was no, I guess it was the day after the release. Take that back. Yeah, because it was released on the 14th. The update came out on the 15th, right? Something like that.
Released on the 15th.
Oh, sorry, 15th, and the update was the 16th.
Who knows? I don't know.
Something like that. But yeah, that was, and all the cutscenes are still there, even the bonus ones. Even Johnson holding the elite.
This is it, baby. Hold me.
Got the butt grab in there.
Yeah. So
you know what I never noticed until I finally watched the cutscene like in slow mo and up top is the elite palms his head while he's trying to wrestle with him. I never knew that was the case.
Oh really?
I don't even think I noticed that either.
I'd have to go back and watch it.
I downloaded it through HBO site and I was watching it. I was like, the elite really like grabs his head and is trying to wiggle him around that way rather than just holding on to the gun.
You know those cutscenes are my recording, right?
What? Oh, they are?
I recorded all those cutscenes, yeah.
Very nice.
So, I thought I'd contribite that way.
Wait, what do we? Oh, the cutscene library, the HBO one.
Yeah, I recorded those for him.
God, those are the cutscene library has always been one of my favorite.
It's been a very useful feature or thing that HBO has had is the cutscene library.
Oh yeah, I've spent many an hour just rewatching cutscenes. I tell you what is also awesome that we have hosted over there is we have a full Flash-based, if I'm not mistaken, we have the ODST terminals.
And the Halo 3 one. And the Halo 3 one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. But I mean we have like it's like a cool like its own kind of like the Waypoint terminal thing. Like it's its own thing from the ODST. Yeah. So like I love
it's the phone thing and you can Yeah, I
really hope that because this is one of my favorite new things about the newer Waypoint update is the secret little terminal access thing, which I'm assuming you've done, Duststorm.
You mean the code stuff?
Yeah.
You enter in all the codes? Yeah.
Yeah. It's a quick, easy $100,000 for Reach.
Oh yeah, no kidding. I instantly ranked up because of it.
I did too. I literally almost jumped 2 ranks, which will now show everyone how low of a rank I am. I think I got to like Brigadier or something like that with it.
He finally got the achievement. Jeff now a lieutenant colonel.
Oh,
remember that?
Oh man. So yeah. Wait a second. Is there a UFC fighter named Avery Johnson?
Wait, what?
I just saw a UFC advertisement, and I swear that the one fighter's name is Avery Johnson.
Oh gosh.
There's an Avery Johnson that used to play for the San Antonio Spurs and now coaches the New Jersey Nets.
Really?
Yes.
I'm gonna have to look that thing up.
But he's got like
there should be like a mini series. It's like Halo in real life.
Yeah, right.
There is.
That'd be interesting.
You just gotta find the people that are posting all the pictures all the time.
So, what was kind of like the one big thing for you guys that really brought back memories from Halo CE while you're playing through CEA? Like if there was one kind
fucking
of
gold
specific
elites.
Gold elites?
Yes.
With the swords?
Yes.
Oh,
just that whole bridge cinematic, having to get through there and thinking I took out all the sleeping grunts, and then you come to your first encounter with the Crimson Elite, and all the jackals are shooting you, and jackals are not easy to take down in that game at all.
Right.
Then you get all the way to the end of the bridge, and you've killed your last little bit of grunts, and you think you're done, and you're trying to reload, and the Gold Elite comes around the corner.
All right.
I think for me, the whole, the whole coming out of the Bumblebee Life Pod onto Halo was definitely awesome, but it actually didn't, because when I first played Halo, that was a huge, huge thing, and it was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. But it didn't even really, really hit me until I started running around in the waterfall. I just run around. If there would have been a sit and frolic button, I would have pushed it. A sit and frolic. I literally, and Cortana's like, the Covenant's here. I was like, oh, don't care. And I'm like splishing and splashing and building, sand castles and stuff. And it was just absolutely gorgeous, and I got lost in it. And I remember that feeling. I remember that feeling of just like, hey, there's this important objective to get to, and I'm like, but look at the grass.
Look at the grass.
Like, I was like hippie Halo. So it was.
No, my game was always
running around in the waterfalls, and it just the beautiful environments, and this, it was just this weird, Halo has always been, or for the most part, been this neat juxtaposition with this crazy war and genocidal war and galactic threatening parasite and all this craziness set amongst this beautiful, serene scenery. So it was just a reminder of that and how that worked.
Yeah.
And how well it really worked together. I think Max Oberman in an interview, he was saying when they were doing the multiplayer maps, he's like, where else do you get to spend some time putting some really pretty flowers in your multiplayer map?
Yeah. I think what the point for me in the game was the 343 Guilty Spark level, where you're descending down and you're about to encounter the flood, and they really updated that. It seemed like the cutscene with Private Jenkins, it seemed like they put a lot more detail into it, or there's a lot more than I remember from the original cutscene. So I mean, that was like a wow moment for me for I guess that really brought me back to Halo 1.
Yeah.
You know what other moment I loved? What took me back? Because I did the same thing playing through it. And it's a gold elite again, but it's that gold elite on, not Assault on the Silent Cartographer. The doors close? Like the first time those doors closed, I used to always try and kill that elite with the sticky grenade before the doors closed.
Yeah.
Then you get to the end of the level and he's still there anyway.
I kind of liked how they combined like the Zealot armor from Reach with more of a goldish color. I mean, it was a little bit more of a salmony pink gold, like a rose gold, but they still tried. It was pretty good.
It's gold enough.
It was gold enough. It wasn't
with
the weird red purple that it was in Reach.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they really didn't change the colors for Halo 1, so I mean, they pretty much stayed true to that. But I mean, I'm not sure what the likelihood of us seeing Covenant is again in Halo 4. I mean, I guess we're friends with the elites now, so anything's possible.
Well, did you read Glasslands?
No, I haven't read it.
Don't say anything.
Yeah, I wouldn't go so far with that.
Oh, okay.
And that's I probably
wouldn't even have gotten to Glasslands.
No,
Halo 4 comes out.
I mean the elite culture. You got to remember too. I mean the elite culture is coming off of years and years and years of not only just kind of being in a weird position and situation with the Covenant itself, but it's also coming off of years of this perceived holy war against humanity. And not all of the elites are particularly happy about the idea that they were just wrong that whole time. Sometimes it's just easier to stay in those in those old throws and old opinions, and it's like a strange galactic civil rights movement. But it's with the elites, you really find that you've got some elites that are on the, they want to forge at least a tenuous relationship with humanity going forward. But then you have other elites that are like, no, screw them. All they're going to do is breed and repopulate planets and take over and conquer us in the long run. We need to snuff them out, while they're weak, so you really have this split and divide. But, and that's been alluded to even by like Frankie and some others, when talking about the story. So, but it's, Glasslands is just the beginning, just the surface of how we try to get there. I have no idea where it's going.
Just look at real life as an example. Like the Civil War was how long ago, and Civil Rights Movement was how long ago? Yeah, things aren't going to go smooth for a while.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. I don't think there's really much anything else we need to cover about CE Anniversary specifically. We'll have another show to talk about the multiplayer specifically.
Yeah.
But
that was good times.
I mean, the the campaign's not different from the original, so you're not getting anything new there. The graphics update was, I think everyone can agree, was pretty amazing. And
if you didn't think so, hit the back button and you're still happy. So
yep, and you're still happy. Unless you
overall, it's a good $40 spent.
Unless you never played it before, and you're like, what the heck is going on? And I guess judging by the Analyze feature that you guys have experienced, that's good.
It's amazing, especially when you're on Skype and then your computer's loud enough for your Connect to hear somebody else shout Analyze at you.
Oh, who would do that?
Or grenade.
Who would do that?
I have no idea. But it causes hilarity.
I got it right here.
Yeah.
Let's see. The 3D from my experience is really good. It's done really well.
That's cool. That's good. That's good to know. We've got the Kinect side. You've got the 3D side. So we should all get together and have a full experience.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm playing Halo CEA on a 3D TV. I just don't own any glasses.
Oh.
Oh yeah, you need the battery glasses, don't you?
Yeah.
See, we have a passive 3D TV, which from what I've heard from people talking about it, the passive 3D is a lot easier on the eyes, which is probably one of the reasons why I like it so much, is because we have a passive 3D TV, and it works better than the movie theater 3D. Because I know whenever I go see 3D in movie theaters, it's always straining in a way.
Movie theater 3D is passive.
Yeah.
But I mean,
it's the active. Like, I guess active 3D does more of it projects the images out at you, where passive does the depth into the TV.
Yeah, but I'm saying the passive TV.
The active 3D glasses actually have shutters in them that flash on and off and basically close over each eye rapidly.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's what's happening. You have a polarized image. You have one lens that is made to see polarization, for example, with a vertical orientation, and then another eye with a horizontal orientation, and then the image coming to you is also over with the various orientations. So with a passive 3D, for example, when you're in the movies, they're projecting two images, and each image is oriented to only be seen by one eye. So when you open both eyes, you're seeing both of those images, but each one is offset. So your brain puts them together into 3D. But with the active 3D, the glasses and the TV are basically communicating, and the glasses have I think LCD, like a type of LCD shutter in them, and literally each eye is alternating, turning on and off, on and off, on and off, so rapidly that you end up blending it together. So,
gotcha.
I'm saying that even with the passive TV that I have, there still seems to be a difference in how not as
from
strenuous.
Theater,
yeah, from the theater, and maybe it's just because of the size of the theater.
It could be that. That's what I was thinking. I mean, it could be the perception, and it's a bigger screen, so your eyes may be adjusting different because your focus is different. Your focus isn't quite as narrow on it. I'm not sure. I've never been a big fan of 3D, not because I don't think the technology is neat, but it gives me a headache.
Yeah. Well, and 3D is known to do that. And I mean, I'm not a big 3D person either, but I mean, I've tried it and it actually works.
Oh no, you're a big 3D person. I've seen you.
Yeah.
Ha 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 ha.
You're bigger than me.
There. I see what you did there.
Yeah.
All I know is I will have a 3D TV by the end of this month, because the one that they were using at PAX, that LG one, they have a 55-inch one on sale at Costco for like $1,200.
That's the one.
Oh, wow.
I mean, we have an LG one. It's a 65-inch, and we got it for $2,500. It's one of those smart TVs. It was basically 46% off that we got it. Retail is $4,500, and we got it for $2,500.
Holy crap! Nice.
Yeah. It's.
I like my 37-inch Samsung LCD. Thanks.
I have my own personal little 21-inch HD TV. What was it? Circuit City brand. The Circuit City specific brand is the TV.
Oh, I don't remember.
Before they liquidated.
Yeah.
I
wish I would have grabbed the TV then. Because what did I get? Something like, God, it was 5 years ago now, right after the PlayStation launched. It was President's Day weekend, and I was at Fry's, and I got, this is right when, that brand Olivia? Right when they came, they released a monitor. So I got, back in 06, a 37-inch monitor. So it only has one HDMI, one component, and one composite input. But it was $550.
But I mean, that's all you need.
That's my next purchase tech-wise is a new computer monitor. Because I have a flat-screen Sony computer monitor, but it's still the standard square monitor.
See, I have 4 computer monitors.
Nice.
I have 2 for my desktop, one that I don't use, and then one that's my gaming monitor.
Yeah, that's
then I have a TV.
It is for gaming.
But within the next year, I'm probably going to get a 37 or a 42-inch TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can say that too. Now that I have a job, a worthwhile job.
Well, I mean, that's why I'll be getting it, is because I'll have a job as well.
Oh, gotcha. Are you just about done with school now?
I'm done. I graduated last month.
Yeah.
Congrats, man. What's your degree in?
Master's in computer science.
Nice.
Ooh.
Yep. So that's one of the reasons why I haven't been really doing much, is because I've been wrapping up school.
Man, it's an even better excuse.
So
yeah. I haven't been doing much because I've been on the reclining couch.
You've been lying on the couch?
Yeah, and it reclines. That's why I haven't done a thing.
What'd you say, Jeff?
I said, so it's a master's degree you just got?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, we're supposed to be hearing in the next month or two where my wife's going to be going for hers. So
nice.
UW.
Hope it's UW.
If it's UW, there are going to be so many Wingdome tweets.
Actually, I was going to say, Washington and Texas are the 2 front runners right now. So.
Wow.
What happens if you get the same amount from both?
I will destroy the one from Texas. I think if we probably get the same amount, if we got the same amount from both, most likely it would be UW, because it would be a better situation for me. So if it was equal for her, then we'd probably go Washington.
Washington is a beautiful place, though. From what I've seen, from what I saw at when I went there for PAX. I'll be in the other Washington. I'll be in DC land. I'll be up by Goose and them. So.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yep. So many LAN parties to be had, hopefully.
And we know about her and LAN parties. What's that in the dorm room?
Do what?
Do you remember? That's the first Podtacular you had me on. We were going through our first experience with Halo, and hers was a LAN party. And how she's been hooked ever since, and how they called it the Goose Call.
Oh, okay.
Where all she had to do was music and everything starting up, and she came running.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, that's right. I should probably have a better memory of things I say on the podcast, but I really don't. It's kind of like a week-by-week thing, and I might not remember I'll remember this topic that we talked about last week, but I won't necessarily remember what specifically went on.
I have one of those weird, silly, retarded memories that picks up on everything.
Everything that's not important.
Yeah, like quote-related and numbers.
Okay. Interesting.
Jeff has a memory that's just related to Halo.
And that's okay. That's
I'm
okay.
Like a memory foam mattress for Halo. I
am not going there. I am not going there. That could end badly. Yeah, I think that pretty much wraps up this show, though. So.
Good times, man.
I'm assuming everyone who is listening to this has played CEA by now. If not, go get it from your friend or go get it yourself. It's really
get
fun.
it from Ricari. He's got like 12 extra copies.
Yeah. Spoiler: Chief blows up the ring.
Oh, why you gotta go do that? We'll edit that out. Don't worry.
More to come later.
Would it
spoiler reach falls? Oh.
Would it technically be spoiler? Because it is a newly released game, but the story isn't new. So
I think we had this, or somebody's had this discussion. But then there's always those people that never played the original.
Yeah. Although it's been out for a month and a half now, so I don't think it's considered a spoiler. It's it's pretty much 2 weeks of spoiler, right?
3.
Well, neither have I. But
that's been out for, what, 3.5?
Spoilers is basically 2. Or we kind of give it like 2 week period, and then it's like if you haven't played it by now, you're on your own, kind of thing. What do you guys think about spoilers in that regard?
I'd give it a month or so. Because, some people, obviously I take the days off work, like, especially if a Halo game launches, so by the next day, I've beaten the campaign story-wise, if for no other reason than to make sure that I don't get spoiled. But yeah.
Yeah.
I totally understand how, life can prevent that from happening, or finances. You may not be able to get the game right away. It just happens. No matter how important we like to think the games are, it doesn't necessarily change the rest of our situations all the time.
Right.
Think of how many people just got it for Christmas.
Yeah, exactly. That's true.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
True.
Well, that's always going to be that's going to be a large group, especially whenever you have a launch around a holiday time, because especially with the younger players. You may have parents that are just going to be like, well, we'll get that for you for Christmas, so you're not going to get it right now. So,
yeah.
Did you guys see Robert Bowling's tweet about the influx of new Call of Duty players?
No.
So it's somewhat related, but he posted a graph of a perk, and it was a care package perk that was actually a booby trap. He's like, this is how many people were able, like how successful it was over time, and you saw the like a parabolic effect as it dropped down, and then you see the date change to Christmas, and it shoots right back up because you got all the new players that hop in and have no idea what's going on. It's like the same thing is going to go for Halo. There's got to be a huge influx of people that never played CEA or Reach for that matter, because they did that holiday bundle that included it, and Reach is a year old.
Yeah, that's true. All right, well, I don't think there's really much anything else to be said about CEA. I will say the bandana skull is a lifesaver.
Yes.
When you're doing run-throughs with friends again or something.
Get this achievement and not change weapons? Are you joking?
Oh, never mind. Just activate this.
Yeah. Well, at first it was going to be so you're going to have to shoot everything, and I'm just going to stay back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And I was like, let's go unlimited ammo.
Word of advice: do not use Boom and Grunt Funeral Skull at the same time.
That's so fun.
I do that. I do that all the time. Yeah, and on Legendary.
I swear, the boom is more than 2 times the explosive damage and explosive radius.
But it makes it so much fun.
But in the description it says 2 times. It has to be more than 2 times. Because like I'll stand at some places like, and with it not on, I don't get any damage. It's like, okay, well, I stand this far back. That's about 2 times as far. No, I'm instantly dead. It's like, what? It should be more.
Have you played the Maw with those on?
Yes. Holy crap, it's hard.
And you get to the Warthog run, and right when that first explosion happens, right where you hop in the Warthog,
it's horrible.
You die.
Yeah.
Like you can have full shields playing on easy, and when that explosion happens, you'll be dead.
Yeah. Like I was trying to do the legendary run for the under 1 minute, and I had those
with Boom on.
Yeah.
Oh no.
It's the stupidest idea ever.
Well, there's your problem.
Oh my gosh,
right there.
I actually managed to get down to
I've almost never swore more times in my life.
I had 57 seconds left on the clock with the Boom skull.
What'd you say, Jeff? Jeff, what'd you do in your life?
I was like I've almost never swore more times in my life than trying to get that friggin' achievement.
It's not
on co-op with Forsaken Mango.
It's actually not that. Well, I guess for me it's not that hard to get, but
for some reason it was just not catching any kind of break with explosions or.
You have to know the route. You have to know the route, and which jumps you take and which jumps you don't take.
Oh, I know the route, but there's always that one random shot or something that happens. Or
that's what I'm saying. It's a weird carrier form that comes running in.
Yes.
Just like that's. I was just for some reason just not catching breaks with that. But I mean, I did get the achievement. So, like I said, I'm going to be as soon as I get to about 99,800 or so, which is coming up pretty soon on Gamerscore. I'll throw CEA back in. Knock it over the edge so I can have all.
Are you gonna stop exactly on 100K?
Oh no, I'm gonna have because I'm not even worrying about because I have a weird odd number like ends in a 3 or ends in an 8 or something.
If you could do it to where it's 99999.
Yeah, right.
That'd be hilarious.
And then you pop in Forza 2 and buy all the cars.
Well, I mean, Halo 3 has some.
Yeah, I already have that.
Unless you have all the 100% in Halo 3, it has some 2 and 3 pointers. But
yeah, I'm only missing one achievement from Forza 2 and one achievement from Forza 3.
Yep.
I did have a plan to get 16,000 before the year was out. That didn't happen. Because I'm currently playing through... Well, I was playing through Brotherhood, Call of Duty 4, and Black Ops. Because I haven't 100% either one of those. Brotherhood, I have 100% all the campaign single player, not the multiplayer stuff, because I'm horrible at playing sneaky, hidey. Call of Duty is just like, it takes time.
Yeah.
And then Fallout, I don't know. I have this thing where when I go play a Fallout 3, I'll play it for a week and just play it for like 10 hours a day. And since I'm like one of the people that just likes to do all the side quests, I won't focus on the achievement quests, and I'll go do all these side quests first, and then I'll come back around to the important ones. So, I mean, I've logged probably, I want to say 90 hours on Fallout 3 under just one gamer tag playing on the PC, and I have it under 2 gamer tags on the PC and the Xbox.
Yikes.
So, yeah. Anyways, thanks guys for coming on and talking about CEA.
Absolutely.
A month and a half after this should have been done.
Absolutely.
Not sure what exactly we're doing next. We'll be doing definitely a game of the year for 2011. We'll be talking about the multiplayer for Halo CEA. We'll go back and talk about some of the waypoint features like Atlas and custom challenges, and some of the stuff that's happened up over there with the new site update. We'll talk about, hopefully at some point, the data drops and the terminals. That might be a show combined all together on its own. And
all combined together on its own?
I mean, the data drops and the terminals.
Oh, okay.
Those two together. Sorry, I didn't mean all that stuff wrapped up. That'd be like a 6-hour show. It's like, no, not doing that again.
That's like saying the same difference.
Fine. But
cool. Awesome, man.
The lull has been broken now, so you guys can expect more regular shows now. And,
Sweet.
And once I get to my job, the shows will be even more regular, and we might have a few more shows. The only thing is since we're kind of at off season now with Halo, it's going to be we're gonna have to look for some.
No. This isn't an off season.
Well, there's always going to be stuff to talk
all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's Krypton to talk about. There's other books that are coming out that we need to talk about, and I guess I need to catch up on my reading because
same here.
I mean, I'm still working on Ghost of Onyx.
Jeff, you'll be happy to know that I just ordered Primordium, like literally just now while we were doing this.
Yeah.
And you'll be mad to know that I still don't have Krypton.
No.
How'd you not pick up Krypton from Halo Fest?
Oh wait, excuse me, not Krypton, Glasslands. I got Krypton.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I'm about to say I have a copy of Krypton and I didn't buy it.
I was thinking of Glasslands because I was looking, I read the little back covers and I was like, okay, what am I going to read next? And I was like, oh wait, Glasslands talks about this and Krypton talks about this. I was like, all right, so if Primordium's supposed to be, the after Glasslands, I was like, I need to read Ghost of Onyx because it's been years since I've done that.
Well, I'm thinking about going back and starting over with the first one, or even just do Contact Harvest and then go back into the Fall of Reach and all that stuff. I might be going back and doing that just to kind of start over because it's been, I want to say, 8 years since I've read the first 3 books that came out. So just kind of starting over again, I think would be a good place to start. And I have that book list that you gave us a while back. The book order.
Yeah.
Unless you want to recite it again one more time for people.
Oh, man.
You don't have
now I'm trying
I put
to
you on
remember
this.
it.
I put you on the spot. You don't have to.
I mean, I could just recite all the books off the top of my head. Because my shelf's in the other room. I could just look at it. I mean, really, the first ones, I'm including Primordium in this. If you're going chronological fiction-wise, you've got Krypton and Primordium, obviously, are the, way, way in the beginning. Yeah. Contact Harvest starts the beginning of the, its first contact, essentially. And then, really, Fall of Reach is probably, chronologically the next, and then right about the same time as Fall of Reach, you've got Cole Protocol.
Okay.
And then Evolutions is an anthology of like 7 different stories that take place, different times in the universe. So it's you've got some that are before Reach Falls, and you've got stuff that's right up until and even after, if I'm not mistaken. You've got some stuff in there that are specifically after. You've got The Flood, obviously, which is the novelization of Halo 1.
Right.
You've got First Strike, which takes place in between Halo 1 and Halo 2.
Yep.
You've got Ghost of Onyx, which takes place in between, more or less. That's another one that's
kind of an overlap of Halo 2
Onyx, actually,
in between Halo 2 and 3, right?
It's even earlier than that, because it starts with talking about the Spartan 3s. The Spartan 3s were being trained before even the Fall of Reach. I mean, the Spartan 3s have been around a lot longer. People kind of assume that the Spartan 3s just like popped up like all of a sudden. Spartan 3s didn't. I mean, they've been around for almost as long as the Spartan 2s have. Like, they weren't that. The main difference is that the Spartan 2s were created to fight the insurrection, and the Spartan 3s were, made specifically to fight the Covenant. And they didn't steal kids. They just, a lot of them were volunteers. They were orphaned. There were kids that were orphaned by Covenant attacks on their colony worlds. So yeah, that's Ghost of Onyx. Then you've got Glasslands, which is kind of a sequel to Ghost of Onyx. It follows 3 main storylines. One of those storylines is basically a direct sequel to the events at the end of Ghost of Onyx. But then it's also kind of a direct sequel to the events right at the end of Halo 3. And then in and amongst Glasslands. In and amongst that, you've got graphic novels, like the Halo graphic novel, which has a variety of different stories that take place different times of the timeline. You've got Bloodlines, which follows Spartan Black Team, which is also the focus of the story Blunt Instruments in Halo Evolutions. Let me think. I'm missing Uprising. Uprising takes place in between Halo 2 and Halo 3. It's what happens in between Halo 2 and Halo 3. That's also a graphic novel. And then Halo Helljumper is about Dutch and Romeo, and that takes place obviously before ODST. And I'm trying to remember if it's after the Fall of Reach or if it's before. And then you have Halo Fall of Reach Boot Camp, which is the first graphic novel that's kind of a graphical retelling of Fall of Reach. And then Halo Fall of Reach Covenant, which just came out, and then it's the continuation graphic novel. First 4 issues were collected in Boot Camp, second 4 issues were collected in Covenant, and the next 4 issues will be collected in, I believe that the title is going to be Invasion for that. I think that's all the books off the top of my head.
And while we're on this topic, I would recommend, if you guys haven't seen it, The Fistful of Arrows by Leviathan.
Yes.
You should definitely go, because it's complete now. And there's a digital art book that you can go see. And it's you guys host it, right? HBO hosts.
Yep. Leviathan.bungie.org. Definitely go and check it out. It is an absolutely amazing. Like, I almost don't even like calling it fan, but it is. I mean, it's not an official, 343 or.
But it's
or
done
Bungie
really well.
Product, but it's done amazingly art-wise, and Levi is he pays very careful attention to the lore, and he has a really, really great handle on it. So everything that can be canon, as far as directly related to canon, certainly follows it. And, even the liberties that he takes in his interpretations are absolutely awesome, in my opinion.
It'd be cool if you could actually order a print of it instead of just going digital.
I would. I'm
sure some people would
copy a graphic novel of that.
Yeah, I'm sure some people would jump on that opportunity.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah.
That wraps up the show. Thanks again, Grim and Rukizzel, for being on the show.
Thank you. Anytime.
Make sure to go check them out on the Waypoint forums and their own podcast, the Waypoint Modcast. And you guys are kind of doing that every week, every other week, right?
About every other week or so, yeah.
Yeah. So they have some good banter over there as well. They're it's a little bit different from what we do over here, but I think if you enjoy listening to us, you'll enjoy listening to them as well. So
a lot less structure. It's like a decade show every time.
Yeah.
There's some structure.
There's just little bits and pieces between us moving along. That's pretty much what it comes down
to. Yeah. So
it is a change of plans, really, like every second. So.
All right.
Well, we'll have to touch base about that another time. So.
Indeed. Thanks again, guys, for listening, and until next time, keep on fragging trucks.